completely agree. American citizenship is the most valuable thing in the world. That's why people all over the globe seek to come into the United States and want to become Americans, and why we have to protect it. But there's a few things that we can do going forward, and I'll say shy of a constitutional amendment that would clarify the 14th Amendment, which I think we would all love to see, but politically would be impractical at this point, given the opposition we have from the left. One is that the Congress can pass legislation that clarifies what's subject to the jurisdiction thereof, that phrase in the 14th Amendment that the left latches onto. And there's been legislation from some of my colleagues, which I support, that have done just that. I think those would get litigated, but that would at least move us in the right direction. At the same time, we can enforce our border laws much more stringently.
I hate to interrupt you, Congressman, because every time you speak, it's like you spin out pearls. But I'd have to follow up with that. You point out the political impracticality of a constitutional amendment. Isn't it also politically impractical, and not just because of Democrats, because of Republicans, to even get legislation on birthright citizenship? You could probably tell me the who, but I know there are Republicans who would stand opposed to that legislation.
Well, I would hope that at this point, every Republican would recognize the problem that we have right now, that after 4 years of open borders under Joe Biden, that you have millions of people who came into this country illegally and who are now anchored to the United States because they have had children here. And that is an abuse of our immigration system, and it's an abuse of every single American in this country. So I would hope that all Republicans, certainly Republicans, would recognize that. And I think we got to continue making the case so that they do. I think certainly on the House side of the aisle, or in the House of Representatives, they do. Right. But I think that apart from legislation that we can put forward, we can also implement greater enforcement, and that's what Governor Abbott has done so well recently by going after these businesses. That's what we're doing on the task force that I chair on the House Oversight Committee, by investigating multiple different birth tourism companies. You cannot facilitate illegal activity. I think there's a compelling case to be made that these businesses are engaged in a criminal conspiracy, and we want to make sure that they're held accountable.